Welcome back. This is Brendan, and today, joining me
is Josh.
And?
Faisal Nayani.
And Faisal is a special guest of ours. We're here in New York. We're going to be here for covering Wind Up and Watch Time and Red Bar Global Meetup. And but Faisal, why don't you tell our audience who you are?
Yeah, so a little about me. My name is Faisal Nayani. Some of you guys may know me as Living the Anchor Life on Instagram.
Is that because you're a pirate?
Yeah, a little bit.
R, matey. R. You got a pirate accent you want to do? I thought you had a pretty good one.
It's just too much.
We just woke up, by the way. I am running on 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah. These boys just got in last night, like literally 5 hours ago.
So here's the thing. The other thing is you know, we got on a red-eye flight. We're here. We slept for like 2 hours, and we're here with Living the Anchor Life. I don't even know who you are, dude.
That's cool.
Or wait, who you are?
So why don't you tell the audience who you are? And there's probably people who know who you are.
Yeah,
already.
relatively, I guess.
Yeah,
A fair bit. Oh, so you're kind of a big deal.
He's kind of a founder of Red Bar ATL.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I founded Red Bar Atlanta November of 2014. So I feel like we're one of the oldest chapters, aside from like New York and probably Toronto. Been there ever since, and good group of members that we got there. And I'm also in the industry myself as a watch buyer and seller, reseller as you would call it, mainly in the vintage space for the most part.
And the shop's name is?
LivingTheAnchorLife.com is where you can find all the new things that are coming in store.
Okay, nice.
So
before we start anything, let me have you button your shirt up so I can get the mic closer to you. And I should have done this before we started, but
Officially.
I just noticed that now.
Real amateur hours.
Yeah, well,
No.
I'm touching inside of his shirt. Right
Yeah.
now.
Feel
I just
me away.
touched the inside of Faisal's shirt. You got that on camera?
Would you say that was a good touch or bad touch?
Yeah, is that a
I
good
mean,
or
the
bad
wife
touch?
is asleep upstairs right now, so as long as she doesn't know.
I got some of that pirate's booty. I touched some of that
love the
pirate-
anchor wife. If she never finds out, I think we'll be good to go.
Wait, do you call her the anchor wife?
She's got a handle, bro.
That's
Wait, really?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to check this out.
So let's do a little wrist check, huh?
Yeah. Who's first?
You. 'cause
Me.
You asked.
Oh, yeah, me. Yeah, wrist check. So I have the Ultimate Gentleman Traveler's watch on today.
And what is that?
It is the Seiko Astron. Fucking, it's amazing. It's
Don't
amazing.
tell me you had to put that motherfucker in airplane mode.
Dude,
in the
I
plane.
did because it gets its time from space. This watch, you have to put it in fucking airplane mode.
Did you follow the FAA regulations? And
Of course I did, because if I didn't, the plane would have fucking crashed.
that is one hell of a watch.
I was sweating in the airport because I didn't know how, and I was like, I gotta find the manual, and I found the wrong manual,
What manual?
and
did
it
you
wasn't working. I was like, shit, we're all gonna die. And then eventually I found the right manual,
So you're a
and I
fucking hero.
successfully put it in airplane
You're a
mode.
fucking hero. Faisal, what do you have on?
So I have a watch I recently acquired that I've probably been chasing for well a bit over a decade by now. This is a 1960s/1970s Hoyer Soul Linograph, Orvis branded. This is what they consider the second execution, with the subdials being two-tone colors. And this one apparently was living in a safe for essentially date of purchase.
Wow.
And yeah.
It looks immaculate.
It
actually.
is.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
pretty
awesome.
cool.
It's
Take a look.
what's the button on the left here?
It's a
the button
chronograph,
There's 3 buttons.
Brendan.
Yeah, so the button on the left here, go ahead and give it a push and start pushing it on the button on the left. Just keep on pushing it and you'll see a rotation. So that subwheel right there
what the hell?
is actually able to measure when you'd have high tide versus low tide. Because this watch was
So
for
you are
Fisher
a-
and Seaman.
Semen?
Seaman.
Semen. This watch
Fisherman and
this
semen,
watch
so
has
essentially.
semen on it.
This has semen on it? What the hell? I like it more.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that.
No, totally.
Wow.
So this was
I don't think I've
originally
ever seen
this was originally done by Tag Heuer. So you have the Heuer on the crown. But they did brandings for 2 different companies, Abercrombie and Fitch, before the naked jean models, and all that jazz, and then Orvis. So it was for fishermen and outfitters, the rugged man.
Yeah. Where did you find a piece like that?
I've owned one once before, and it was in very rough condition. Eventually sold it. And this one was literally trolling Instagram and the hashtag and connecting 2 and 2 together and back channeling some things. And
Back channels.
Yeah, back channels.
We're going to talk about those dirty. In a bit. Yeah, we're going to talk about those in a bit.
That sounds dirty. Can you give us any dirty details of back channels?
Yeah, just, talking to other dealers and collectors and finding out the source of who's the rando that you're giving money to, right?
Yeah,
Because you're sending a huge wire and you're like, am I doing this right?
What's,
From an Instagram account?
Yeah.
I kind of thought there was going to be some sex stuff involved.
So what I got on is my Pepsi. Pretty boring, I guess. Yeah, fake Pepsi. No. But yeah. No, it's real. I think. And that's all. I don't have really much to say about that. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Okay,
we've told the story plenty of times.
Yeah, we told that story plenty of fucking times. So let's talk about your shop, right? Let's talk about how did you get into something like that? Like, what made you get into watch dealing, slinging watches?
So, originally by trade, I am a jeweler. I did go to GIA as a graduate gemologist. Graduated a little over 10 years ago in 2012. And watches came naturally. It's a hobby. It's a passion. It's around.
It's adjacent.
You see a
to
diamond
the gems.
ring, there's a watch sitting there too. So it just kind of, So it was more of a passion project. It's kind of become another way of life, I guess. So
Can we, with the gemology and the watchmaking background or watch selling background, can we expect you to kind of get into the whole blingification kind of thing? Be like Atlanta's new version of like Johnny Dang?
Just complete ice out.
If you know anything about me, I'm a very big purist when it comes to vintage. So those bust-down watches are not my thing. First of all, when you have a bust-down watch, you know this for a fact that the value's instantly been depreciated. So when someone asks me for that, I'm like, it's not for me, but best of luck to you. Here's where you should go.
So if someone came to you with like a pre-moon Speedy, and they were like, "Yo, I want like this shit iced out, rainbow sapphires."
I got 3 referrals ready to go where you can go.
I'm not
that
what
guy.
Josh wants. That's his grail, an iced out pre-moon
Yes.
Speedy. So you were talking a little bit about like these back channels.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, tell us about like your secret hunting grounds. Like, where do you find these deals? Like, how do you get your inventory?
As far as watches are concerned, so with watches, obviously there's multiple different channels you can do. From other dealers, other trade shows, hunting down individual private collectors, like simply like trolling Instagram. You've seen a watch for a while and you're like, yo, I have a market for this. I really want it. Some people badger them, but at some point you have a conversation. If you click with the person, they're like, yeah, I'm kind of willing to unload. So it's just, it's a pick and choose sort of thing, but there's no true rhyme or reason.
Mm-hmm. But you have a certain neighborhood of folks that you've done business with that are kind of...
Yeah. Actually, it's ironic because after this watch week here in New York, I literally fly down to Miami on Sunday night for a red eye for one of the biggest watch shows that happens every year for dealers at IWJG. And I know you guys have heard of IWJG before, but it's they do a show every month, but their biggest one is always in October, kind of the pre-holiday season. So it's kind of a meeting place for where you meet a bunch of people in one venue with one plane ticket that are from all across the country.
And it's all dealers meeting up, basically.
It's all dealers.
So there's going to be some market crash specials going down there. Some people who are over leveraged that are trying to at least pay for the rent, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's some of that. The money counters are up front. Like, it's like a normal thing over there. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
4 money counters ready to go. Like, that's the watch world, right? Everybody's trading on very small margins for the most part. If you buy a modern Pepsi, let's say, you're buying it to make a quick $500,000 and you're laying down, I won't say the number, but you know where we're at, you know. So that's just the game.
Yeah, if they bought it way up in the 20s, and then now
He's been there, done that.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're a fucking joke that has lived on for years.
The best thing is, I never listened to the show before I was on it, and I started like listening to some back ones just to like get in the groove, and it's like it gets mentioned every show.
Yeah. So Josh had a inside joke that I had flipped my Pepsi and that this is a fake one. And
It is.
And it's. So, okay. So now we talked a little bit how you're sourcing. How about your selling? I mean, how do you reach your customers? Also through Instagram, pretty much.
Instagram is big. Obviously, social media can make waves, as we've seen. But it's just that individual clients. So my original company, before living the anchor life, was My Concierge Jeweler. And it's a cheesy tagline, but it's the jeweler that comes to you. So living in Atlanta, I do actually travel and cater to my clients. So people do know me as, hey, this is a guy that's can be able to help me with whatever service I need, or source something or create something. But he can also roll up to my office and bring the perfect watch that I'm looking for. So it's a little bit of that. So it's not just the fact of social media or online, but organically as well, especially within the greater Atlanta area.
Okay.
But that's not to say that an engagement ring has not been shipped to Vegas to a client or something, or I haven't taken a flight out to LA to service another client.
What has been your worst customer experience from like selling to a customer? Who's been the worst
They're
customer?
all amazing. What are you talking
all
about,
amazing.
dude?
And you don't have to, but if you'd like to name names, that's perfectly fine here. We don't have any rules.
encourage dropping their name and address.
I'm very bad with names, really good with faces though.
Give us
So
a
describe.
hypothetical. If you don't
Give a
want to get
police
too
description.
specific, just make something up and be like, yeah, what is like the worst Anchor Life customer?
You can put a
what could that
composite
be?
character too. You can make someone out of 10 people.
I will say this. Sometimes a $25,000 client is one of the easiest people you ever meet, because they'll be like, oh wait, it's 25 G's. Okay, cool. What's the wire? Click. The $800 client. Well, I don't know if the value's there, and and mind you, we've been 10 hours into this interaction, right? Like days of emails, and it's like, I'm not quite sure, but
The bezel looks a little off.
yeah, I know you're saving me like 500 more off of MSRP. Again, getting them a retail watch for less than retail.
It's not bad.
Yeah, so
I'll take that.
so-
I feel attacked.
So there's not gonna be any name of names, but you'd be very surprised how that comes out to be. But that's not to say needles here or there. Every client is different. Every person is different, and how you have that interaction, you have to gauge it and change it every time. There's no steadfast rule like what would be like a boutique or an AD where you walk into. They kind of have a protocol, and they go through that protocol, and if you don't fit in their protocol, you just don't get their watch. That's not the case with what I do. So it's
They're open-minded to
yeah.
whoever shows up.
So with this customer focused approach, like what is like the most like out there like biggest thing that you've done, in selling a watch to somebody? Like what's the craziest length you've gone to deliver that piece that someone's looking for?
Craziest length on delivery.
Or like just the whole journey of selling
Yeah,
to someone.
yeah.
Maybe you had to source it somewhere, you had to like fly to Malaysia and then
No, like, I mean,
know?
I had a client not too long ago recently. He sends me a package. I sent him a FedEx label. And in this package proceeds to come out some vintage pieces. Some were not real. They were CZ pieces. But 2 pieces had 2 very large 2-carat diamonds in it. And he said, I want to use this as my value towards creating an engagement ring. Engagement ring was a really cool engagement ring. It necessarily wasn't a high motivation to fly from Atlanta to Vegas to do this, but also at the same time, he was kind of doing like a triple deal at this point. 2 very large stones plus the engagement ring. So I went out and did the full diamond day, as I call it, and kind of went to great lengths. I literally took a flight, rented a hotel, rented a car just for this, because he's a good friend, and it was a fairly big deal overall. But at the same time, I've had a client where he showed me a watch one day, and you guys will appreciate this. I was at a networking meeting, and I really hate going to networking meetings, but I'm like, got to be out there in the community. And it was a day when we had people visiting to come to the networking meeting. And across from me, just kind of flashes this watch at me.
Was it like really like obvious and like gross?
No, he just flashes, right? So I'm like, that's a Rolex Daytona. I don't know which one it is. No idea. So after the meeting, I talked to him and I see it. He's like, hey, I wanted to show you this watch. And I'm like, that's beautiful. It's my Grail. My wife was with me then too, and she kind of like kicked my toe, like shut up, right? Like, don't give too much away. So I told him, hey, if you ever want to sell this, let me know. He said, sure, I'll let you know. 4 months passed down the road. Lo and behold, he comes to my office with this watch. 1969 Rolex Daytona Paul Newman, reference 6241. I'm like, no, this can't be real. And at the time, the market was just changing from a 5-figure watch to a 6-figure watch. And eventually I was able to broker that watch. We were able to put it in auction and sell it. And today, because of that, he's created his business, which has thrived into 3 different locations now. So in the same note that I got to sell something really cool, I got to make a few bucks for my time. At the same time, I got to help a buddy who now has created a great life for himself for selling this piece.
Did he toss you a little like Woody? Get in on the ground floor with that?
Or like at least a free meal every day, unlimited for lifetime, or whatever his business is, free whatever?
No, not necessarily, but I'm happy that he got to where he wanted to be. And mind you, this watch has been in family since the inception. It was his grandfather's watch, and then his father's watch, and then his. And he was debating about selling it. But his dad said, if this is what's going to make you start the life that you want, it's for you to do what you please.
Well, yeah, he made something instead of going to turning into a leaving Las Vegas movie or something, you know what I mean? Just like spending it all somewhere.
So cool things have happened every day, you know.
Yeah. It's almost taking like one family heirloom and turning it into a business that hopefully he can pass down to, his kids or whatever.
It's actually cool.
That's pretty sweet.
It's like literally or metaphorically a nest egg, but almost literally.
Almost literally?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not at all, dude.
So you said you put it up to auction though? Was that where was the auction? Was it?
It was one of the New York auction houses here. I won't disclose who, what, or where, just for the anonymity of the buyer and seller and everybody else. But needless to say, it was really, really cool. It's just kind of wild now if you think about it. When that went up versus today, it's nearly worth about double. So it stings a little here, but you're
never gonna be able to time it though.
No, of course not.
Never.
Of course not.
So you mentioned you've seen a couple like fakes and things here and there, and I imagine you see a bunch in this business, kind of hunting things down or folks bringing you stuff. Like, what is the grossest, grimiest, cringiest watch that you've come across in your journey as a vintage watch dealer? Just wow, Jay. Wow. That's uncalled for. In case you didn't hear that, Jay just called out my perfectly wonderful high-tech Seiko Astron. Fuck you, Jay. So yeah, grossest, grimiest watch, cringiest watch you've come across, aside from my Seiko Astron.
Cringiest watch. Okay, let me ask you guys this. What justifies the level of cringe?
Well, I think for me it's the level of wrist cheese that you had to fucking scrape out from all the links. Something that's just straight nasty fucking filth.
I think it could be anything. That's a good one too. I think we want to know that one too.
We want to know
but just anything. It's just like blew your mind. Like you're like, wow, this watch is so exceptionally bad.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, like this is just the worst watch.
I mean, wrist cheese wise, I will say I've seen some watches where we scraped it out before we put in the ultrasonic, and literally not to put it into perspective in a bad way, but like 10-15 grams worth of dirt and dust and debris come out.
10-15, you could start making moisturizer out of that shit.
Yeah,
it sounds like drugs.
Yeah, you're talking like a $50 size of like just everything coming out. Yeah, so it's
over time you could have this is wrist cheese lotion for all the.
I mean, I dry heaved a few times after cleaning, but
do you ever get used to it?
No, I don't need to, because I don't have a retail shop. So here's the thing about my business. You cannot walk into my door For you to get to me, you have to make an appointment, which usually can be done by referrals or whomever. So when I'm interacting with the client, the good thing about it for me is the close rate is very high. It's very unheard of for me to have a walkout rate of maybe more than 1 in 20, 2 in 20 sort of deal.
So you're like the big boss at the end of the level, and you're just cracking skulls.
More like we're saving the riffraff and the tire kicking time, right? Like you have a motive, you have a prerogative where you want to be, and I'm going to lead you on how to get there. Now, if you haven't done your research within the market, then it's not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, if someone came to you and tried to buy a Seiko Astron, you'd be like, dude, get out of here, basically.
No, I mean, in all honesty, there's no client too big or too small. Really, truly, there's not. I mean, the Astron guy may look at him a little bit funny. However, hey, you love what you love, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
Yeah, no kink shaming here.
All right. I know you like that wrist cheese up in there.
Yeah, so I mean,
Okay.
I know you mentioned some of the auction houses and stuff like that, and I imagine to some extent they're like your big maybe competitors. They take some of the slice of the market after them. Do you ever get any digs in them? Do you look at their stuff and like call them out on Franken watches to take them down a peg? Or is it like a Lehman Brothers thing? You don't want to fuck with them. Like they're too big to fail. They're gonna fuck the whole market up. Like what's your approach to your kind of like your place in the market and some of these big guys out there?
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain point you don't want to fuck with those guys because they do have a lot of pull, right? I mean, the said watch that went into question into auction, it was kind of a fiasco with the whole process. I'll be honest, but at the same time, they've got a lot of backing, sponsorship. They have a lot of big corporations behind that corporation that back them, and when you start to get letters of cease and desist, you just gotta take that really seriously.
Oh, you got a cease and desist letter from somebody?
Somebody somewhere along the line. It may or may not have happened, but I will plead the fifth.
Okay, we're gonna have to talk that offline.
Yeah,
'cause I
offline.
want the
We need to
details
learn more
offline.
about the big auction house mafia.
Yeah, Jesus
And,
Christ, are they watching us right
And
now?
how many knees has Oral Bax broken in his lifetime? Man, that's a little scary actually. I wasn't expecting that. Man, you're a brave man.
Yeah. Do you
Brave
have
man.
do you have to hire security?
I
Sometimes.
mean, you guys need a job?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
It's not paying that well.
Yeah.
We can make you laugh the whole time too.
If anything bad is about to happen, I will run away, and you'll know that something bad is about to happen.
And I'll scream really loud.
Yeah, okay, Brent, give him a taste
little
of what it
taste?
would sound like.
We're in a public area. I don't want to. We have to use this room for the whole day. So,
All right.
which shift? We talked about the anchor life. Let's talk about Red Bar.
Let's talk about Red Bar.
Yeah. So how'd you get? I mean, I'm assuming you knew Adam for a while, right? Something like that.
Would you like the story of what was Red Bar Atlanta and how it was formulated?
Yeah.
So the way that started was back in, I believe it was 2014. They were having an IWC event here in New York. And of course, Adam, being Adam, posted about it on Instagram. We're all trolling it at this point. I'm like, I wish we really had something like that here in Atlanta. And another guy comments on my post, I wish we had something like that in ATL too. And another. Adam sees all three of his comments and goes, there's three of y'all. Start something.
That's enough to make a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hashtag
we
takes
started
5.
something, and lo and behold, we met. This is where it gets cringy. We met at a Taco Mac down off of Peachtree Avenue, or Peachtree Road, I guess I should say. I'm meeting like 7 randos that I've never met in IRL, right? And of course, my wife's like, "Don't bring anything good." No, I bring out my watch, known as the Rugged Rolex, and a few others. And I think I probably had like 5 or 6 large then at the time with me. And met with these guys at Taco Mac, and the rest is history. So our chapter's been going on for almost 8 years strong, up until that time, until what we're talking about today. And real eclectic group, good diversity. We have people from all walks of life, all ages, all races, all sexuality and creeds and innuendos that do not have gender norms for us, they don't exist. You know, our group is really, really chilled.
So if Josh showed up and he was like, "I'm into the wrist cheese thing, like that's my kink," everyone would be cool with that.
No, because he didn't get an interview yet.
But you interview people.
What
is the interview process?
Yeah.
Well, unlike a lot of the other chapters, we're a little stricter down there. I get shit all the time for it. Like a random text from Adam, like, "Hey bro, what's up?" But the thing is this, we live in a city that we have to be cautious in. Atlanta has great people and great places, and it also has some bad negative elements. That being said, for us to get membership, we usually send out a reply to your email that, "Hey, I want to know your first and last name, your email, your phone number." Not really hard, right? And why do you like watches? How'd you find out about us?
It's like an ASL kind of thing.
Yeah, from the AIM days, basically. Yeah. And then once we get that information,
You asked for a foot pic at that point, right? Is that
absolutely. How'd you know? All right, this interview's over. I'm done. You guys know too much. No, and then after that, we ask for a one-on-one interview. And a one-on-one interview can either be a Zoom call or an actual sit-down at a coffee shop. But here's the kicker. If you have a very negative element coming into the game, you're probably going to be too timid to even go to that one-on-one or to schedule it. So that really weeds out the non-collectors for us.
So we already know this trick because this is what Jay used to do. We know it's just so you can get people to buy you free drinks.
I mean, it is what it is. My Starbucks card ran out a while back, so
it's like time for a new member.
Yeah.
So have you had any bad experiences with people coming in trying to interview, or bad actors in the club that you've had to ask to leave?
Yeah, there was an interview once where a guy referred to his wife as hot wife the entire interview. I did not interview him.
Yeah. This guy sounds awesome.
This is legit serious.
He's looking for a bull.
And he basically came in with the question of, "Hey, I'm looking for a watch between the price of $2,000 to $9,000. What should I pick?" Well, how many watches do you own? "Oh, I don't own any." And then again, he refers to his wife as hot wife. And I did not interview the guy. There was someone else, one of our other senior members did, but we reported back and it was like, yeah, this one's not going to work for us.
Something about him is not vibing.
It was like one out of 20 becomes a miss. So not very often it does.
If you were doing a Red Bar interview for yourself, you would not call your wife the anchor wife?
No.
Good question.
I mean, she's known as that within the IG space, but that's as far as it goes, I guess, right?
All right.
Okay, checks out then.
All right. So it's verified.
Verified. Yeah.
But imagine whatever your nickname is for your wife. Like, would you refer that about her to a rando?
I call my wife wrist cheese lady, but so yeah, probably not.
So you would say, "Hey, yeah, you know, let me tell you about wrist cheese lady." Like, reportedly,
would that?
It just wouldn't work.
Okay. Make sure to not say that in my next job interview, actually.
Yeah.
So how many members do you guys have?
So we have always been not about the numbers, but about the quantity of people. Being one of the older chapters globally, I guess, our current membership is right around 90 people. And for the simple fact of, because not everyone fits the mold, right? Yeah. It's not that we're not inclusive, but we want seasoned collectors. You've had some skin in the game. You've bought some things. You sold, a shitty astronaut that you lost money on, or whatever the case may be. but the simple fact is that we want to know that you've had a opportunity and a chance to actually experience what it is to be a collector by making some money and making poor choices and losing some money. There are other watch clubs within our space.
Okay.
Which are very great, but they're not necessarily always the right fit for our mold, because we just want to have seasoned people that have a conversation and a mindset and their own personality and viewpoints, right?
I guess so. As a seasoned guy in the community, both just as collector realm and somebody in the biz, in the know, as it were. Do you have any advice for folks who are getting into the watch collecting game?
None whatsoever. Just don't do it. Don't do
That's
it.
advice. Don't do it.
Get into Pogs. Pogs are really cool and cheap.
Pogs?
And you know,
Like
you
the
can actually.
collectibles?
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember those.
No, those go for big money, bro.
What?
Yeah, it's a big deal now.
Kidding me?
Yeah.
But to revisit the question, you had said, what advice would I have for?
Yeah,
For
folks getting new to the watch game, right? So they're like, hey,
You as in a collector or a reseller?
as a
'Cause that's the question.
collector, I
Okay.
think.
collector?
As a collector.
I mean, it's cliche to say, but it's like literally buy what you love. I'll be honest with you. I'm about to cause some heat here with certain ways I feel, but like GS is not a brand for me. It never will be a brand for me. And I put a reel about it a few weeks back,
I
and
see
I got
Josh's like veins in his temples just
I
popping.
got torn up, but it's just I feel a certain way of what I do. It's because it's not what I like, right? Just because it's what you like and I like you doesn't mean I have to agree with it per se. Like my watch here that I have probably means like nothingness to even half the people that are here in town right now, because they really don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like,
But
that's
the-
that catalog that just started showing up in my mailbox.
Yeah, but the ones that know, they truly know. So it's just buy what you want, what you appreciate. Forget the hype, forget Instagram, forget following people, forget about having the BDE because you made that amazing post of that Pepsi or whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
whatever's the hype watch. I just don't fall in the hype. If I wanted to be a hype dealer, I'd be buying a bunch of modern Rolexes all day long and popping my $200 to $500 and calling it a day. But no, I'd rather sit on vintage stuff that I want to correct and make right for the simple fact of it's my passion.
I feel like you may meet more interesting folks too, that if you're selling that sort of like that vintage, you know, rather than modern Rolex. It's, you know.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If a client calls and say, hey, I want a brand new Oris, you know, pointed crown guard or a pointed, the green pointed date, I have sources I can get that, which is really, really nice. And it's what that client wants. Is it something I love? No, not necessarily. But in the vintage space, it's almost like a different realm of collector.
Okay.
So my thing is just go with what you love. Like truly go with what you love. Forget the hype, forget the new watch that's hashtag and trending out there and you want all the fucking likes because of it. What's the point? At the end of the day, you got to go home with it.
Yeah. You're in the hobby for the wrong reason if
Yeah.
you're chasing the clout.
I like old man watches. I'm an old man. It is what it is.
All
you know
right.
what I mean?
You're an old pirate.
It's a weird kink, man, but you do you.
Yeah. What watch best represents me and Josh?
Can I ask a few questions here first?
Yes.
Yeah, drink
Because
us
we
in.
are just meeting today.
Yeah.
So, okay. So,
This is gonna get weird.
Yeah. It's like looking at my palms and
Yeah.
dimming the lights.
Yeah.
so
I'm
what-
gonna use this in my Tinder profile.
So, question number one, and I'll give you each a question. It'll be separate questions.
Okay.
Since, you know, what's your go-to drink at a coffee shop? Go-to.
coffee shop?
Instantly. You can't even think about
Oh,
it. Go.
yeah, it's
Let's
like a
go.
honey lavender latte.
Okay.
Iced latte with oat milk.
Okay. Ice latte with oat milk, honey lavender latte.
Yeah.
Honey lavender. Yeah. I'll have to try that.
It's a good combo.
What is the first watch you grabbed knowing you were coming to New York?
Oh, I grabbed my Astron because it's the gentleman's traveler's watch.
I grabbed the Pepsi because I don't know. I'm going to watch time.
Because it's fake and you're not worried about it getting stolen.
You wanted that flex BD energy?
Yeah,
Is that what it was?
I wanted a BD energy.
I mean, we can be honest
coming
about
in
it.
here. Yeah.
This is
coming
my
in
flex.
here.
This is my subtle flex for those who know.
Yeah.
Right?
I bought that and a Speedy. That's pretty much all I brought.
Okay. Refer back to our question again real quick.
What?
So you guys even lost your train of thought here.
What watch would you say best represents Josh and best represents me?
Okay.
So one watch each.
I have one or two more questions.
Okay, let's
All
go
right.
down this
Let's
journey.
see. Great.
When you go sleep,
Oh shit!
when you sleep, what position are you sleeping? On your back, on your side, on your right arm,
Holy
left
shit.
arm? This all matters.
I'm all over the place.
All over the place. Got
I'm
it.
usually on my back or my right side.
All right. Do you sleep with the watch on?
No.
95% of the time, no.
We're not a fucking weirdo like Jay.
Okay. And my very last question. What is your grail watch?
Oh, it's a HE2.
For me, FP Journe Resonance in rose gold.
Okay. So I have to describe you both with one watch
Yeah.
together collectively.
Let's do one watch
Each?
for each, and then one that
and then
describes the group.
and then like some Voltron us together.
Yeah, Voltron us together.
Yeah.
You should charge for this service.
So
I'm your watch sold.
Yeah,
Watch
this could be like your Archie luxury. Give me $20, and I'll ask you 20 questions.
and tell you what your soul watch is, what your grill should be.
No, not what your grill should be. It's just what you are.
What you are.
So, for you, I would have to say would be, it's like a cross between what is a Flick Flack and a Hublot Big Bang. And I can't quite put my finger on it.
Which Big Bang?
Yeah, which one? There's like a million of them.
Like a Unico chronograph?
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I guess you could do
Upgraded
that.
your own
Somewhere
movement.
in that range.
I'd be
but
happy with that.
I don't know how you amalgamate those two. A Flick Flack and a Hublot Big Bang.
I'm all over the place,
Yeah.
man.
That's true.
Yeah.
So that's acceptable.
Okay.
I'll accept that.
And for you, give me today's current hype watch. Somebody, today's hype watch.
the 5811, I guess. That
The new,
I don't know. Everyone's
that's
talking
not
about
really
it,
a
but I
hype
guess there's a
watch.
lot of hate around that. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
you're.
Diet Type C.
Oh, the Destro, right? I guess that's still kind of going.
Yeah, that would be about right. So I would say you're like dead on like a Sprite.
Okay, I'll take
You know,
that. I'll take that. I'm a young blood. I'm a young blood in the game.
He hits it for the name. He wants it for the hype. But at the end of the day, he'll probably lose his ass off buying one. So.
All right. Now we have a baby
Yeah, get
together,
that.
and what comes out?
Yeah, what comes out of the Hublot Destro, dude? Big Bang Destro, what comes
A
out?
Hublot Destro. I don't know. What is the amalgamation of the two?
I think an RM Jackie Chan Dragon.
Is that a real thing?
I think so, yeah.
Holy shit.
I think so. There's something going on like
That
that.
sounds amazing.
Yeah, I think that is our baby. But let's see what you think.
So what would you guys say is the watch that's me? How about that?
Oh.
Well, it's got to be something vintage.
Yeah, it's got to been passed around a few times.
Tons of wrist cheese
Yeah.
all over.
Big grimy. Set like at least 15 grams.
10, but still. What would
something-
be the watch that
something-
best fits me? And this is from you guys doing an interview and meeting me today.
Something suave. Smooth.
Suave, huh? He seems a little rugged though.
Rugged.
He's got
and
flannel
suave.
on. He's got a sweet beard.
Before you make the choice, can I show you guys a couple of pieces I brought today?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
let's see
figured
what
we'd
he's
bring
got.
some eye candy, and that way you guys can get to know better.
And we get to take home whichever one we want, right?
Yeah, everybody gets a party gift, of course, absolutely.
Yes.
But
This show is sponsored by The Anchor Life.
we got a
today's
couple
sponsor.
of really cool pieces here
Dude,
today.
he's got him in little drug baggies.
Holy
Of
shit,
course,
he really
of course.
is.
So this particular watch is really cool. This is a Cartier memo box. So it's a JLC watch, but that was signed for Cartier. It was a very limited run that was done for them. So seeing something double signed, obviously, is a very unique, rare thing. But a very cool and unique piece that you don't see every day.
I didn't even know. I love Cartier, and I didn't know they did a.
How's
memo
the
box.
alarm sound on that thing?
I mean, as loud as it can, right? It doesn't have modern amenities, but the cool thing is, if you ever do have a memo box, the trick is if you put it on a porcelain plate and next to your bed, because of the vibrations, it'll actually
Break the plate.
yeah, pretty much break all sound barriers involved. This is a very, very cool piece right here. So we have a 1969 Omega Speedmaster, but this is
69.
what they call the error bezel. So if you look at the tachometer there, you'll see instead of it saying 200, it actually says 220 at the integer over there, which was a very small run where someone fudged up in the factory back in the days in 1968 and 69. And when they made the correction, this only became something that was done in a small run of, I believe, 2 quarters, if I'm not mistaken. It was the 3rd, 4th, and 1st quarter from 1969 to 70. And believe it or not, this actual bezel is rarer than the Don bezel, your dot over 90. You will see more dot over 90s than you'll see of this particular piece. So this does have the caliber 861 post moon. However, the bezel is one that you don't see very often. So it's the weird things that make it kind of cool for a collector.
Yeah, it's like an anomaly. It's not like the others. How
Just
much?
watch it,
How much?
seen some,
does something
seen
like
some
this go
stuff,
for?
man.
This one right here, the market's really strange on them. We have this one, if I believe, we're like right around like 7,000.
What's
Would be the
the
case.
watch cringe discount if I wanted to
The
pick that
the
guy
watch
up?
cringe discount for you, we can talk about after
Okay,
camera. Yeah,
we'll talk
for sure,
about camera.
for sure.
Yeah, that's actually
we
pretty
can make
fucking
it very, very, very cool. And I mean, it's actually got the original crystal. You see the crazing on it. Like if you look at it, you see the cracking, crazing.
Yeah.
You can replace the crystal, but it's good to have.
Did they have the logo on the?
Yeah, the Hess lights on the crystal there too. Another cool one is let's go to the. These are some of my personals mixed in with other things, but this is known as the infamous rugged Rolex. That's a reference 6422 with what we call the infamous Explorer dial, like the 369. And the cool thing about that is the dial has texturing. I think the fancy French term is guilloché.
Guilloche, that's a cool pattern, man.
And this is a very not me.
Heavy.
This is a not me watch.
This is a
Definitely not
very
a
heavy.
not you watch.
That's
Yeah, this is not you at all.
that's a Maurice Lacroix, Pontos S diver. It's big, modern, and black. And I like vintage, small, and not black steel, right? But the beauty of this one is the case back.
Oh, little red bar logo there.
So
all
that-
right.
Little collab.
So that was the first
Very cool.
Red Bar watch ever done. Was a collaboration, and of course, the moment Adam Craniotis told me about it, I was like, "Cool, I'll take number 7." He's like, "What do you mean you'll take number 7?" And I was like, "Well, it's really simple how this goes. There's 10 of them being made, and logically, you have number 1, Doc Jeff." Jeff Jacques, right, who was the co-founder of Red Bar. He has number 2. I said, naturally, Kathleen McGivney's got number 3. Some idiot down the line there wanted 10 of 10. Everybody wants to close the serial, right? So I said, lucky number 7's the one I want.
10-10's a good.
And so
good.
I
10-10's a good
actually
time to
agreed
sit
to
and
this
watch it.
without even ever seeing it. And I have a really interesting story, if you guys don't mind me
Sure.
divulging into this.
Yeah.
So we're at the buyer's dinner here in New York, and I get a message from a good friend of ours, Carter Risty Combs, right? As we know him. And he had actually worked for the company at the time. And I had seen him through many different cities. So every time we got together, we linked up. So I get to the buyer's dinner very late. I'm sitting at the edge, and he's sitting at the other side. And he sees me, I see him. We're hitting kissy faces, you know, because that's just how we are.
Yeah.
I didn't really know anyone very well at that dinner. And the ones that I knew, they were already elsewhere. There were only like 10 to 12 of us there. And he comes up to me and he's like, Faisal, I got to talk to you. I'm like, what's up? He said, I saw your name on the list. And at first I was like, oh, I know that name. Like, this all came in his mind, recollection-wise. And he's like, why is he getting this watch? Oh, he's getting this watch. And his whole point was, he was really happy to see a name he knew. He was surprised that I was on this watch because, again, vintage, right? It's not me. Right. But the fact of what it represents, he knew, oh, you're one of the earlier fanboys of Red Bar. So he walks up to me, sees the case back, just like you would be holding it right here, and literally rips it off. And me thinking, like, vintage, you got to keep it immaculate, right? I'm like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Enjoy that watch and wear it for what it is. And ever since that moment, and especially after his passing, like, that watch means that much more to me. Granted, he was never initially spearheaded on the project, but he was working with the company when it was happening. That watch to me represents a good friend that we all knew very much and that we lost. So that watch, every watch that I have personally, which is not a very large collection, has a true meaning. And that's my meaning of that watch.
Carter was just like the coolest, nicest dude. Like not at all. Like when I first met him, not at all what I expected based on the Instagram account.
No, of course
Like
not.
you know, just the flashy watches and the tits at the bar, and then you meet him in real life, and he's just like the coolest, most down to earth dude.
Totally.
Like he's just like love your watches, have fun with your watches.
And be
always
good
happy.
and be good to other people.
Exactly,
That was a very big thing for him.
Yeah.
The night I went to Austin for the first time, I'm like, yo, I got to meet with this account guy, right? We go down to the Dirty Six, as he called it. He said, we're going to start off at a hotel called Douchey Stuffy. I'm like, what's Douchey Stuffy? It was the W. And of course, the whole time I'm looking for him, and he's just sitting there dapper by the fireplace. And I'm searching for this guy. And again, I have no face. All I have is a wrist. And he's watching me the whole time. For 30 minutes, he trolls me, trying to figure out, like, I'm asking random guys, hey, are you Carter?
Are you just grabbing
hey,
their
you
hand?
Carter? No, I see a watch that I might see in his IG. This is the essence of Carter. I see a watch that I see on IG, and I'm like, hey, are you Carter? And then eventually, after having like his third Dos Equis, he's right there. He finally comes to me, he's like, yo, Faisal, right? And I'm like, yeah. And that whole night, we go down there. He drops off some watch straps to a new collector who was a super nice kid, really just getting into collecting just because. But throughout the night, it was like random acts of kindness that he had already planned were going to happen anyways. While we're walking and drinking, and yeah, I think we probably had like 15 beers that night and 15 waters, but that was his trick. He said, you always have a 1-for-1. But no, I really miss that guy, and he's really truly kind of the essence of why we collect. It's you come for the watches, you stay for the people.
100%.
So now that we know that story, I think I have a good pick. Do you have one in your mind?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I'll pick off the table here.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
I see you as a Rodania Geometer,
Okay.
which was, you know that watch?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so I see you as that because it's unique. It's a story that maybe not that many people know, that basically the Speedmaster was, made off of that, basically, because that came 3 years before.
Correct.
So I see you as that, like
That's
something.
a good pick.
Yeah.
That's
It's
a good
vintage.
pick. Kinda
maybe
OG.
Yeah, OG. The guy, if you know the true story, the facts. I don't know. I see you as that.
Because I was going to pick off this table. I was going to say, dude, this Cartier Memovox,
I could see
similar. It's a cool, rugged, like functional, really like niche, unique kind of thing. Yeah.
I don't think you're happy about the picks. He doesn't seem
no,
happy.
no.
Okay, well, pick it. Okay, Omega,
I-
the swatch. You're the moon swatch, actually.
All right. You are a Sapphire Hublot Unico Big Bang.
You're like an Invicta, like diamond out, fucking encrusted snake.
What was it? What was it? It was Sealand. You're a
You're
Sealand.
fucking
Do you know
Sealand,
about
dude.
Sealand?
You know Sealand?
I do not.
Oh, you
It
gotta
was
tell them about Sealand.
Sealand was basically a sister company or a sister brand to Invicta, and there's like it's like vintage Invicta basically.
Yeah.
But you're a Sealand. That's what you are
You're
now.
changing
Yeah.
your pick now?
Because
Yeah.
Sealand.
No, he's a
I'm
Sealand.
a pirate. Yeah, Sealand. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
You're
the
Sealand.
I'm
the
taking your
tutor-
picks, but I'm
the
very
tutor
intrigued
to
on your
Invictus
pick, and
Rolex.
I'm processing that with the story we just talked about. So it's all kind of a lot of emotions are in the air right now, guys.
Emotion
A lot of
fucked up.
emotions are in the air at this point. I don't know what to say.
Well, I think we should end it on that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
You have nothing left to say, right?
I think I'm good.
Okay, we're good to go. We're closing it out. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we appreciate it. We'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah.
Oh, ASMR. Can we set the alarm on this quickly, or probably take a while?
Let's try.
I mean, we could ASMR the Astron, right? It's just like boop boop beep boop beep boop 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 beep boop beep.
I like the vintage better,
No,
actually.
nothing. That doesn't fly.
Not quite.
All right. Can we keep that for the B-roll?
Yeah. Yeah. We just slap it on something.
Oh.
That's also my wife's toy.
So Jay just said that sounds like his wife's toy. And last thing before we go, we're going to plug your website. It's livingtheanchorlife.com.
It is livingtheanchorlife.com.
And your Instagram is?
Same thing with the Instagram is livingtheanchorlife.com.
And your OnlyFans as well?
Yeah, but it's password protected.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
But
you can give us a little back channel, right?
Yeah. We'll back
One of
channel
those back
that.
channels that you're talking about.
Will you fly to Austin if I buy an $800 watch from you?
All right, say bye, everyone. Bye.
Guys, thanks for having me today.
Love you
Yeah, it
all.
was awesome.